If you're watching this, you're either a vintage reseller, run a booth, or just wondering who this random girl sitting on a couch is. Either way, hi, I'm Caitlin with ODR Curated Vintage. I've been a vintage reseller over on Instagram for 2 years now, and I just opened my first booth in December. Today's video, we are diving into all the behind the scenes, the secrets, the tips, the expectations versus reality of this job, and everything in between. So grab a drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. First things first, the cost. Whether it's the cost of inventory, the cost of packing supplies, or just the cost and time that you spend on this business, it can get pretty expensive. I started watching Instagram lives 3 years ago, and you can definitely get caught up in the lives and the fun and thinking that it's just fun all the time, in which it is fun most of the time, but there is a lot of behind the scenes that does not get talked about enough. And when you just dive into this business, then you're kind of like a fish without a paddle. Is that a saying? In a boat without a paddle? A fish that can't swim? Whatever it is, that's you. When I first started buying things, I bought everything and anything, and I just wanted it all. Going back, would I do that again? No, definitely not. Buying so much and putting so much money into it can definitely get overwhelming very, very fast. So if I could go back to when I first started, I definitely wouldn't have picked up as much as I did. I would have been a whole lot more selective. A lot of the times people say to niche down, and I kind of agree with that on one standpoint, niching down to your style or the things that you like, because if you don't like an item, if this golden retriever mug with my lipstick stains on it is not your style and you don't like mugs, you're not gonna like selling this. It's not gonna be fun. You're gonna come across just like, hey, here's a mug, buy it, and you're not gonna be passionate about it. So I would definitely say niche down on the things that you like, but also keep an eye out for things that you may not decorate personally with, but you do love, and I would pick it up in that case. Let's talk packing supplies. That is probably one of the most important things in this business, because if you do not have the right packing supplies, your items will break and customers will not be happy. You won't be happy. You have to file a claim if you ship through pirate ship or UPS or the post office. Things get lost, boxes get open, boxes get broken. Once it leaves your house, you have no idea what happens to it. And being prepared first is most important. So here's a couple of things that I would get when you first start out. Bubble wrap, packing paper, the right tape, because there is the wrong tape, and if you get like the masking tape, I've had the incident where that has gotten lost. I think the packing label fell off, the package got lost. I had to talk to my customer about it. It was a whole thing. I still don't know where the package is to this day. So getting the right tape is key. Some people use the honeycomb packing paper. I've never used that. I've just used packing paper, but that is another option. Labels. So a lot of people use a thermal printer, which I have one for my husband, but I haven't used it. I personally use our home printer, and I just buy labels off of Amazon. So that is another thing that you could do. I know of a few people who just printed labels on paper and taped them onto the box at the very beginning, and they've definitely changed their ways since then. You can also go to USPS, and they have the free little packing slips that you can put right onto your package. I know a lot of people who use that. And that's another thing, free packing supplies. You can either go to the post office or order boxes online through the USPS website. The thing is, they are for priority or ground. You cannot cut up the box and put it in another box. You cannot flip the box inside out. You cannot put the box in a bag. That is illegal and it should not be done. So either get the free boxes and use them how they are meant to be used. Go to Walmart. Their boxes are pretty inexpensive. They look great. Or recycled boxes. A thing with the recycle boxes is you want to make sure that they are quality recycled boxes. I know we want to recycle and use as much as we can before buying new, but if your box is beat up before you send it out, it's not going to arrive in great condition and it could easily get damaged. Even in a great box, it could still get damaged. That is why knowing how to ship is so important. I do have a shipping video that I will post here. I will not say that I am the greatest at shipping, but I would say that is the number one most important thing to learn before you start this business. Now, if you're wondering what to sell, there is vintage home decor that can go from books, lamps, wall art, knickknacks, paddywhacks, give a dog a bone, the whole variety of everything that you could sell. There is clothes. There are people who do home decor and clothes and jewelry, and they do it all. Would I recommend doing that when you first start out? Probably not, unless you have this space, you can be organized and you know exactly. If you feel confident, then by all means, but I feel like that can be a little overwhelming when you first start. So I just started out with home decor. I had a few jewelry pieces for my grandma that I sold here and there. I definitely wouldn't say I sell jewelry. And I just recently got into clothes, posting those on Poshmark and eBay. So that is a new adventure for me. That is going to be bill money. Home decor is going to be business money. So I've kind of got the two, same checking account, got the two separated. It's a thing. In my brain, it's going to work out. But knowing what you're going to sell before you start is also very important. I made the mistake. I think it's a mistake for myself. Other people are really good at it, but I made the mistake of buying a lot of art when I first started out, and big pieces of art. Like I sold a tapestry encased with glass the size of this couch when I first started out. Let me tell you, the shipping on that thing alone was like a process, a whole process. It arrived safe. I'm so glad that it did, but that was not the greatest of choices, I would say, to first start out, not really knowing what I was doing, but it worked. It was fine. It was great. I'm okay with it. For you, starting out with smaller art might be a great idea, so that way you can learn how to properly wrap a piece of art. Some people use the corner sleeves, some people do the pool noodles. Pool noodles are a big thing. You can cut them, you can put them onto the edge. People also use those for swung vases. So if you find some pool noodles, that is a great thing to stock up on. I have personally never used them. I have used the foam corners and things like that. Lots of bubble wrap, lots of cardboard, but that is another option by using the pool noodles. Let's talk about personality and character. Now you're sitting here saying, why do I have to have personality? I'm just selling vintage decor or antiques or clothes. But if you're selling on Instagram, personality is a huge thing. You're putting yourself in front of a camera, presenting not only yourself, but your item. And people might get bored if it's just, here's my mug, here's my other mug. Having a personality, and you don't have to be super charismatic and bubbly and out there, because trust me, I don't think I'm that way either. I might be when I might be on my lives. I think I get that way when I get nervous a little bit. I start to talk pretty fast. But for the most part, I think that I am myself on my live and on these videos that I am in real life. Hopefully I come off the same way. But people want to engage with you. They want to see your personality and not a robot, or not just nothing. They'll get bored, they'll click off. It's not good for you and your sales. It's not good for them watching. People just want to engage with you. I feel like this year is so about connection. I'm going to go on a tangent just real quick. We've had so much short videos for the past 4 or 5, however many years that reels have been a thing, and it's been fast, 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 click, click, click. Like you barely even see the thing before it swipes away. It's dances, it's whatever, and I think that we've lost the connection in our society, and I think that we are getting back to the point of wanting a connection, wanting a bond, wanting to know the person behind the camera and not just hey, here's my mug. Like, buy it from me because I'm on Instagram or I'm on eBay or Poshmark or whatever it may be. Like, people want to connect with you, they want to know you, and you by no means have to put your entire life out there on your Instagram, but showing a few key pieces of your life or your personality, or I've posted like my daily walk sometimes, I've posted some food videos, I've posted just to give a general idea of who I am as a person. So, tangent over, let's get back to character. Now, out of anything that you get from this video, character should be at the top of your list. There is such a tight-knit community in the vintage community alone and on Instagram. Let me talk about Instagram personally. The community that is on Instagram is tight knit. If something happens to one seller, it happens to the whole community. If you do wrong, it gets spread out there. Sometimes it's a little clicky, but that's life. Like I will say, high school is the same way. Any job is the same way. Like you're going to have your clicks, but I think it's more along the lines of you're going to have your people that you connect with. Let me say that. There's a lot of connections, small group connections. Is that a better word? Maybe I might get some backlash on this, but I'm going to be honest because that's my page and that's who I want to be, and I want to be honest and upfront with you guys. So, character is a big thing. If you think that you're just going to, and I think this goes for selling in general. If you just think that you're going to come on these platforms and sell something and you're just expecting people to buy it from you because, like, why not? Like, I'm selling this, so you should buy it. No. Like, why? Who are you? I don't know anything about you. I don't know who your character is. And Instagram alone is very what's the word for it? Very intimate because you are giving your personal information to a stranger. Like, yes, you can see somebody online and be like, "Oh, I know them. I watched their live." But you're also giving them your name, your email, your address. Like, people want to know that they can trust you with this information before just giving it out to you. A lot of people use PO boxes. A lot of the sellers I know use PO boxes, which I think is very smart. I need to do that. I have not done that. Please don't stalk me. I need to get a PO box, especially with doing YouTube again. So that is on my to-do list. But again, it's very intimate. They want to get to know you. They want to know who you are, something about you, your personality, like connect with people. Don't just expect them to buy your stuff just because you're putting it out there. Like, show people your personality, I'll say. Okay. So, personality, that segue is, we're out of that one. Okay, let's talk expectations versus reality of being a vintage reseller on Instagram and owning a booth. That's what I'm familiar with. So, what did I first expect when I started my business? Loaded question in so many ways. I watched a lot of Instagram lives. I saw women coming together and selling, and the community was a lot smaller back then. It has definitely grown, and I know people can say at times like, "Oh, it's so oversaturated, like Instagram, yada yada yada, selling on there is whatever." Like, every business is oversaturated. How many hairstylists do you know? How many cooks do you know? How many lawn services? My town has three car washes on the same side of town. So it's whatever. People make their money if they put in the time, the effort, the commitment, the money, the whatever. You're going to make money. It's fine. Everything is oversaturated. Anywho, there's my rant. But short answer, I guess, would be, why can't I do this? Like, let me just give it a try. I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just knew that I loved watching the lives. I loved the women that I was watching. They were so fun. I would literally stay up on Sunday nights watching Danny and Cherie with Rehash Honeys and Desert Rustic Chic until like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, I was on that live. I was doing their bid ins. I was in it because I loved their personalities. I still love them. They are great. So if you're not following them, go follow them. They are two of the most hardworking women, and I looked up to them so much. So I guess they were kind of my inspiration of getting started. So shout out to you guys. I don't know if you're watching this, but just know that you were a lot of the part of why I started, because I loved watching y'all and y'all's connection. And yeah, okay, I digress. Anywho, back to do as I say and not as I did. Um, I definitely would have made some changes, I think, if I could go back, because of the things that were previously stated. But I'm also the type of person who believes that everything that happened has led me to where I am now. Never in a million years did I think that well, first of all, would have started selling on Instagram, nor did I think that would lead me to owning a booth, nor did I think that I would then start this YouTube channel, which then I would rebrand my cooking channel and start that YouTube all over again. So I think there was a lot of things that led up to all of these things, and I personally wouldn't go back. Did I make mistakes? Yeah, of course. That's life. It's going to happen. I'm probably going to make more mistakes in this business, but you learn from them, you grow from them, and you keep on trucking. When it comes to owning the booth, I definitely did not know what I was getting myself into. Kind of still don't know. I'm kind of still learning that, but it is okay. So I shopped a lot at our local antique mall that did close down. They moved to a new location, but I shopped there a lot. I loved going to those booths. I loved the people that were in those booths. That location was fantastic. The owners of that place were great. I loved just being around all of that and seeing how they were like curating their spots and decorating, and they gave me inspiration to decorate my own house, and it was great. So when I went to an estate sale, and the guy that was running the estate sale, which is now the owner of the booth spot that I am in now, said, "Hey, have you ever thought about opening your own booth?" And I was like, first of all, I didn't even know you knew who I was. Second of all, yeah, like I wasn't, but now I am. So give me all the details. And so going into that, I was very excited. I'm still excited about it. I still love it. It's my own personal way of like decorating a spot, because I definitely don't have enough space in my house anymore, because I've done decorated. I've done decorated this house to the max, so that I think I'm very minimalist in my decor style, but still have things like, it's weird. Like I like the cluttered look, but it has to have its spots, if that makes sense. But when it comes to getting a booth, here is my advice to you. If you have multiple locations in your area, I would go to all of them. I would spend a few days or a couple hours at each and just kind of feel the vibe of the place, because I feel like that has to do a lot with how you're going to do. If you go to one location and it's a lot of like MCM and swung bases and things like that, but you're over here with your painted furniture, your rustic decor, or your knickknacks, it might not do so well. But if you go down the street and there's another place that has that rustic style, the painted furniture, you might do a whole lot better down there. Another thing to consider is rent, because not only are you paying rent, you have the cost of your items, you have the possibility of having to build your own space. Some places come with walls, some didn't. We had to build our own walls or have furniture or however we wanted to set up our booth. So that is another expense to think about. You also have the cost of driving to these locations whenever you need to restock. You have the cost of furniture if you're going to sell furniture, or the bookshelves that you may or may not sell or just need as decor. And then you have the percentage that that space takes. Some places are 12%. Some places are 15, some maybe 5, some are 10. So that's another thing to really consider, is the booth payment plus the commission, because that does equal out to a lot of money sometimes, because you could sell $400 that month, but your rent is $300, and then you have the profit, and then you have to give your money, and there's a lot to consider. And so I would definitely think about all those things before just going to the place down the road because it's closer. Place down the road might be closer, but it could be a higher percentage and higher rent rather than, yeah, maybe you have to drive 20 minutes and it's lower rent, lower commission. It could work out the same, but just a thing to consider. Another expectation that I think a lot of people have when they dive into reselling is, I'm going to make money. I'm going to make money like that. Some people do. Don't get me wrong. There are some people who dive headfirst into this. They know what they're doing. They've had all the ebooks. They've read all the things. They've done all the things, and they make money like it's. They do it. They do it. There's other people who start and they buy a lot of things and they don't sell a lot of things, and then it evens out, and then so if you're gonna come into this business just thinking that you're gonna just make a ton of money, it takes time. You might do it. Don't get me wrong. You might do it, and I hope you do it, and I hope I do it, and I hope everybody does it. But I think that it takes time. It takes making the right moves. It takes buying the right product and the right packing supplies and the right everything to kind of get in that good cushion of starting to make the money. I would definitely say once you do start making the money, and if you have enough to be able to pay yourself or to put into savings or to put, just to the side for a minute, if you have a booth and you make good money this month, put a little bit to the side for this month in case you don't make rent, and then you have that cushion. I would then take a little bit of it to put back into your business to buy more items. But yeah, just understand where your money is going. I think that you can spend a lot of money really fast and just kind of sit on things for a while. They might not sell. It might not be the right season for them. You might not have the right customer base at the time for the said item. So that is just a really, really big thing to consider, is the money of all of this. If you made it this far and you're still thinking, Caitlin, I want to start my vintage business, either online or opening a booth, can you help me? Absolutely. Either comment down below or message me over on Instagram. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. Am I the best person to ask? Probably not. But we will grow together. You may know things that I don't know. You may have had a booth for 30 years and you have advice for me. Give it. Leave me all the advice. I love y'all's comments on my last booth reset. I am definitely going to be taking those into consideration. I love hearing from you guys. It is so helpful. It helps me grow. It helps to build a community. I want to be closer with you guys this year, and I want to have that connection. Like I said, I feel like we are in a society that wants more connection, more bonding, more personal time with each other, and I am all here for it. So thank you so much for watching. I know this video was a little bit different than what I normally do. Let me know if you want to see more like this, if you liked this format, if you liked this setup. Don't forget to follow on Instagram for all of the live sales, and over on my rebranded cooking channel, Gather and Save, which is going to be all about lifestyle, meal planning, budgeting, all of it. And I hope you guys enjoy. I will see you in next Sunday's video.